Big Play Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside Chris McNeil, Nick Padone. Big shout out to our producer, Ryan Smith. Big weekend for Cleveland, guys. Our Browns upset the Packers. And, you got to feel good for Andre Schmidt. What a day for him. The Browns needed it, but so did he, to have a little redemption there. And obviously we'll talk about it, but how outstanding our defense was. The Packers entered the game averaging 27 points, and we were able to hold them to just 10. We'll get all into it, but how did you guys enjoy the weekend?
It was great. Topped off by that Browns victory. Nothing beats getting that first one out of the way, Nick, especially doing it at home. There was a lot of negative energy for this Browns team going into it, and it was really nice to kind of expel all those demons there on Sunday.
And there were a lot of Packer fans downtown Cleveland, and they had a long, sad flight home on Monday morning after that loss. It was a really good win for the Browns. It felt like the entire team needed that. It felt like the entire city needed that. You see the video going around social media of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry embracing in the tunnel on the way back into the locker room. This is a Browns team that hasn't won a game since Jameis Winston had tears in his eyes talking about the opportunity of playing in the snow all the way last year. So they needed to get this monkey off their back in the worst possible way, and what a better way to do it. This is the biggest upset in the NFL's young season thus far. Browns were 8.5-point dogs on FanDuel Sportsbook going into this one, and that's the biggest straight-up upset that we've seen in the league this year. So huge win for our Browns.
It's weird. Did you guys feel like we were going to win? For whatever reason, we were tailgating, and I said, I feel like this could be like the Ravens situation from last year. And
how much were you imbibing at the time?
What's that? Oh, yeah, maybe I had a little too much. No, I really just felt like we were going to win at home. Did you have any inkling at all?
No, not until the game was over and hit all zeros did I think we were going to win that game. Even after the blocked kick, I thought, okay, we've got to move the ball. There's absolutely no time to do this. Even after they completed that pass to Njoku there in the middle of the field, I thought, well, you got to get the ball down and spotted. There's no way we could do that. Sure enough, we did.
And how many Browns teams of old would have screwed that up? How many Browns teams of old have we seen lose in that same fashion that the Browns beat the Packers? Yeah. We're usually the ones that get the kick blocked and return the other way. We're usually the ones with the late fourth quarter crumbling interception. So it just all felt so good, and it's a really great week to celebrate a victory. A lot of bad in that as well, and we'll cover that in our headlines, but it's really nice to just get a win.
But amongst all this football news, I think we're kind of burying the lead right now as our Guardians are rolling. And Gab, you've got a big thing coming up this weekend around the Guardians, right?
Yes, so I'll be singing the national anthem for Fan Appreciation Night, which is funny because when I agreed to this, it's not that I didn't expect us to come raging back with all this excitement and energy, but it will make for a very nerve-wracking and fun, exciting time at Progressive Field this weekend. As we're shooting this show, just a game behind Detroit and a big series ahead of us. It would be really great to win the AL Central.
And packed the ballpark. Stephen Vogt called out Guards fans this week. He said, we can't wait to get back home. We know the weather's changing. We know kids are back in school, but you guys got to pack the ballpark for the Guards, pack the ballpark for Gab on Saturday for Fan Appreciation Night, and it's going to be a fun week of Cleveland baseball.
Dude, I'm nervous. My boyfriend's parents are even coming into town. They're going to meet my parents for the first time. There's a lot going on, so we need you there.
Pressure.
We're going to have such a good time at the ballpark this weekend for sure.
It's like something you'd see in a movie or something. All this coming together at once.
I know, as if I wasn't nervous. But you know what, guys? I have been practicing. I have a version I got. Like, it's just about managing the nerves.
Chris, this is weaved into like the modern version of Major League. Like, Gab is a part of that movie with, her personal life and this national anthem. It's all part of the script, man.
We win. Everybody out on the field. You see him up there in the stands. He runs down. Oh, this is great.
Guys, just pray for me. We got to get into our Cleveland headlines brought to you by Fairway Ford.
Today's Cleveland headlines are brought to you by Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford offers complete customization for any vehicle on the lot with their Fairway Black Label line. This series features custom upgrades like premium wheel and tire packages, a wide variety of level or lift kits, performance enhancements, and fully customized interior options. And every Fairway Black Label truck comes with a Rhino spray and bed liner. Whether you're looking for an aggressive off-road stance, a bold street presence, or a one-of-a-kind build, Fairway Black Label delivers. As a bonus, many of these upgrades can be financed for as little as 0% APR, depending upon the vehicle line. You dream it, they can build it. Visit fairwayfordohio.com to explore their current Black Label inventory or give them a call to start designing yours today.
All right, guys. Browns exciting win here at home. A lot of people unexpected. But what did you think of the defense? Let's talk about that, because I just think, do you think they're the best defense in the National Football League?
Oh, I think there's no doubt about it. I think the defense came out just as they have in the first couple of games. They wanted this victory. The offense tried their hardest to give it back away. And then fortunately, special teams, they had the deciding vote for us there. So ended up winning the game. But Myles Garrett, fantastic once again. And not only him, but we were seeing pressure on Jordan Love all afternoon long, and that was very important in what ended up being a real slugfest.
Has there ever been a team that finishes the season with the #1 ranked defense in the entire league and the number 32 ranked total offense in the league? Because that's what we're looking at right now. The Cleveland Browns defense, make no mistake about it, Super Bowl caliber. The Cleveland Browns offense, 0-17 caliber. It is that polar opposite. The defense is awesome. The front is arguably, if they could keep this up, this defensive front could go down as one of the best, not just in Browns history, but NFL history. You see the stats with Mason Graham and his win percentage based on other defensive tackle win percentage. He's an outlier. He's an anomaly, and he's 3 games into his professional career. The Browns defense is awesome, and Jim Schwartz deserves a ton of credit again.
Schlesinger, over 10 tackles yesterday. 10 tackles, 1 sack. I mean, this
everywhere.
Guy's all over the place. And this is his 3rd game.
The entire rookie class. I mean, this is looking like Andrew Berry's best rookie class.
By far.
Quinshon Judkins making immediate contributions. Schlesinger, Harold Fannin Jr. with that run where he's dragging Packer defenders on his back. This is a guy that was playing tight end in the Mid-American Conference. This is a guy that was playing Central Michigan and Buffalo last year, and he's doing this in the National Football League. And then you even look at some of the slept-on guys. Isaiah Bond, while he's yet to pop, Joe Flacco's missed him. He's been open a lot of the time. How about Aiden Huntington, undrafted free agent defensive tackle, clogging it up in the run game, but also contributing as a fullback there on the goal line. Like, this rookie class has been all good thus far.
And you got to believe those rookies really juice some of the more veteran players, because they want to, everybody it seems is just playing on that same level, and it's so exciting. Do you guys think that with the way it is right now, if our offense is unchanging and our defense stays as dominant as they are, do you think we make the playoffs, or do you think we're going to need something notched up on offense? Like, we need to
step it up.
Yeah,
on
you
offense.
can't be this bad on offense. If you're this bad on offense, even if the defense maintains as good as it is, not only will you miss the playoffs, but everybody will be fired, because this is right now the worst offense in football. And I know the quarterback thing has been its struggles, and we'll talk about the decision to roll with Joe Flacco instead of turning it over to one of the rookies, but there's issues all across the offense. The Fox broadcast was lambasting Kevin Stefanski for 48 minutes of that football game. You had a 1st and goal, and you ran a play to throw a touchdown to your backup center. I mean, there are some head-scratching things going all throughout it, and they need, if they had a bad offense, you could make the argument they'd be 3-0.
Do you think Kevin is overcoaching, or do you think this is more of a Joe Flacco thing, not finding
I think
people?
Quarterback is certainly an issue here. I also think that we need to establish our identity. You've got Quinshon Judkins right now starting to really come on. He needs to get his first 100-yard game, and I think that's going to happen on Sunday. I really think that if we establish the run and then allow Joe Flacco, until we switch to one of these rookies, allow Joe Flacco to run the offense, hitting up guys like Harold Fannin, that's going to be our recipe for success here, Nick.
Yeah, because if it's not, you're effectively wasting how good this defense is. Like this, you could waste this defense, which looks tremendous. So you've got to be better on the offensive side of the ball.
Anybody who surprised you, who you thought did a good job? I thought Malik Collins, for being 30 years old and just getting out there and being so physical, was exciting to see. That's what I'm thinking about, the energy that the younger guys are bringing. I feel like that's contagious.
And how about Andre Schmidt? I mean, a week ago, everybody was dogging this guy. Now he makes the biggest kick of the year. That was absolutely huge. And then in the postgame, he talked about how much his mother was his biggest fan, unfortunately passed back in July. So really an emotional story that came out of that. And really the way that he put everything on its ear here in that game by going from the negatives that we were talking about going into that game, about the kicking game, about the special teams, to now where we're at. That was a fantastic kick. Just really happy for the guy.
Yeah, he wasn't 100% either. You know, like he had felt something, had to get an MRI late in the week. So like you go into this game as a rookie kicker that's already had a really bad outing, one of your 3 games in the National Football League, to come through in a moment like that, it absolutely was massive.
I don't think we talk about the mental side of the game enough. We always just say, you're a professional, do your job, do your job. We always hear that. But it is crazy in a moment like that when if you have barely even skimmed the internet around or just checked Cleveland Twitter, it's not easy to block out. You know, he was hurting after week 1 and everyone let him know about it. And to come out there, I think it was really a cool thing to see professional athletes, especially someone young, in real time overcome some of that self-doubt and then be the hero.
Even in the moment, too.
Sure.
You think about that quick turn. You have the Packers kicking a field goal. All of a sudden, you turn around. We've got an offensive play. And you got to run out there, and then you got to make a kick.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the hardest things in sports to do, to just from cold run out there on the field and immediately make a kick. And that's exactly what he did. And not only a kick over 50 yards, Nick, that was unbelievable. And for him to do that with all the kind of baggage that he was carrying there, with the injury, with the emotional stuff, that was amazing to me.
Great win.
Proud of you, Dre. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Lake Spur Marketing, connecting your brand to the right customers. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. Our featured interview brought to you by Garage Beer. Garage Beer is the perfect beer for any occasion. It's small batch, no frills, no bitterness. It's just beer that tastes like beer. The Garage is always open with Garage Beer. And now we welcome on a very special guest, host of Locked On Lions, Jake Riepma. Thanks for joining us virtually, Jake.
Hey guys, happy to hop on, and what a week to have me on. If I'm a little bit grumpy, it's because I'm watching my baseball team completely collapse, and oh, by the way, I'm not too sold on my football team as well. So if I come across a little bit grumpy, I apologize.
Maybe we had you on purpose so we could rub it in a little bit. I mean, just a friendly reminder that we were 15.5 back of Detroit as early as 2 months ago. But hey, no big deal. We're just a game right on your tails.
Yeah, just brutal. I mean, and it just if the Tigers could do one thing to make me, not as depressed, they just said forget that this weekend and thought, how about a 7-game losing streak? And it just gets worse each and every game. But hey, we got it all lined up for a great series this week, huh?
I was gonna say, it's not over right now. As of shooting this show, we've got a showdown coming tomorrow, Tuesday to Thursday, I think it is. Yeah, so we'll see who can really taunt after this week.
Jake, how worried are you as somebody that covered this team all year, obviously knowing what happened last year with these 2 ball clubs in the postseason there in that first round? How concerned actually are you about what's going on with the Detroit Tigers right now?
Well, it's such a complete reversal from last year. If you remember, the Tigers sold at the trade deadline last year, by a lot of metrics, had less than a 1% chance to make the postseason in 2024, and then rattled off one of the more memorable fall September runs to even get into the postseason. Flip it to 2025, and all of a sudden you've got a team that's just been in cruise control with a double-digit lead in the division. So honestly, the way it's all come to a screeching halt and really avalanched on the Tigers has been kind of difficult to even see happening and difficult to even believe. So each and every day I get more and more worried. And this weekend was really the tipping point where, on our post-game shows and everything like that, you start to feel it from the fans that it's gone 180 degrees from, wow, objects in your rearview mirror are closer than they appear to forget this team. I'm done with this team. There's a lot of, and I know it's just crazy to say there's still 6 games left in the regular season, but if you're taking the pulse of the fans, I think the disdain for the front office and Scott Harris in particular, the president of baseball operations, and how he handled this trade deadline and essentially went bargain bin clearance rack shopping at the trade deadline instead of making a move, because in his mind, it was more valuable to hoard a lot of prospects than to try to win now and capitalize on this window. That had so many fans, myself included, upset with the way this team has been managed. And essentially, it's not like you want to take a victory lap and say, I told you so, But at the same time, it's all coming into fruition when it matters the most. And when the Tigers have to be playing in what would you'd hope their best brand of baseball, they're playing their absolute worst to the tune of a 6-game losing streak. And I believe it's 9 of their last 10 they've lost. Meanwhile, Cleveland's one of the hottest teams in baseball.
So, Jake, to outsiders, what is it? What's the problem with Detroit? Is it the offense? Is it the starting pitching? Is it the bullpen? What's going on? Is all three just falling down at the same time in Detroit?
No, that's a great question. And the short answer, yes. And it's been the opposite of complementary baseball. When the offense shows up, the pitching doesn't. When the pitching shows up, the offense can't manufacture a run. And, I think most recently the game on Sunday is a perfect example. You've got Casey Mize on the bump, and he pitches an okay outing, and the offense just doesn't have the ability to come through. And then on Saturday, the offense puts up a couple of crooked numbers. You even get a late home run from Spencer Torkelson to give the Tigers a lead, and Will Vest blows a save. And you've got Charlie Morton, who was one of those trade deadline acquisitions. And if the name Charlie Morton sounds familiar, it's because of his prowess in 2018, not anything he's done as of late. I mean, one of the oldest pitchers in all of baseball, and that's who Scott Harris thought the big in-season acquisition would be. So the starting pitching's been bad at times. The bullpen has been an area of weakness all season long, but for a while, the high leverage guys in the bullpen were okay. I'm talking Will Vest and then Kyle Finnegan, who they acquired at the deadline. They were okay, but over the weekend, you saw Will Vest blow a save. And again, when it rains, it pours. And when one area of the offense or one area of the team is struggling, it seems like it just, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So it's been a culmination of really all three facets of the game, which again, no time like the present for the Tigers to go in complete tank mode.
I definitely want to pivot, talk some Lions with you as well, as Browns are getting ready to go to Detroit for this game. How's this year's Lions group compared to last season's team? I know the talk of the offseason was about losing both coordinators. How much has that really impacted you guys?
No, that's exactly what the conversation's been like. And if you talked to me after week one, after the embarrassing outing at Lambeau Field, the sky was falling in Detroit. There was no chance this team could capitalize on the momentum that Dan Campbell has brought, and everybody was questioning everything. And then you have your former offensive coordinator Ben Johnson come to town in week 2 and you drop a 50 burger, and the offense looks as good as any offense. And Jared Goff with a 5-touchdown game and 300 yards passing. He's one of the few quarterbacks that's ever done that 3 consecutive years. And the efficiency of the offense was just clicking on all cylinders. So again, depending on when people tune in, if you've got a Monday night football game coming up with the Lions and Ravens, I think we'll find out quite a bit from that Monday night football game in terms of another opportunity on a standalone national scale game against a very quality opponent, despite both teams being 1-1. So the long answer to your question is we don't know quite yet. There's been some I would say lack of communication issues on the offensive line. You lose Frank Ragnow in the offseason. He retired, but the offensive line looked horrendous against Green Bay in week 1, and they looked really good against Chicago in week 2. You got Tate Ratledge, who's a rookie, second-round pick out of Georgia, starting on that offensive line, and he made a drastic improvement from week 1 to week 2. So long answer, there's still some questions, but I think Lions fan and Lions faithful are feeling a lot more optimistic after that 50 burger against the Bears in week 2 than they were after the really embarrassing loss in week 1 in Lambeau.
As you look at this Browns matchup, Jake, I think right now it's an 8.5-point spread for the Lions. Is there anything on this Browns team, this red-hot Browns team that's now won 1 game in a row, that strikes fear into the hearts of any Detroit fans?
No, and I know we joke and there's a comedic tone to that, but I'm watching the game yesterday, Browns Packers. I'm all over the place, but watching Browns Packers, and I'm thinking, wait a second, this is a formidable defense. I mean, obviously Myles Garrett's the one that jumps off the page for the name recognition and everything, but collectively that's 11 guys defensively that are flying around playing quality defense and the ability to control the line of scrimmage. And I know that's a football cliche, but at the same time, I thought the Browns were so impactful in doing that against the Packers yesterday that's an area of concern. And then, to look at it from a Lions perspective, this is a defensive line. I'm talking the Lions defensive line that outside of Aiden Hutchinson, there really hasn't been a lot of production. And so you wonder where and how the Lions can generate pressure on the opposing team's quarterback without it being Aiden Hutchinson, because there's just really not a lot of depth on that defensive line. And any quarterback, whether it's, Joe Flacco, who maybe needs a walker to stand in the pocket, maybe not. I mean, if you give him enough time, he'll find some receivers, just like on that last drive against the Packers. So I know we joke, but absolutely there are some things that stood out to me from that Browns win over the Packers on Sunday that Lions fans better not count this as an easy dub.
Jake, I'm going to take you back about 10 years ago. Do you have any fond memories from the Great Lakes Classic between the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the preseason annual event?
I always I think about those times as the Lions would always do well in the preseason and then just be absolutely terrible in the regular season. And I would say the same for the Browns. I'm trying to remember 10 years. I was at Johnny Manziel's first snaps. I remember I was sitting pretty close in that preseason game. But I don't know if that would that have been 10 years ago?
Could you feel the
magic?
magic?
In 2014.
Yeah, could you feel the magic at that time?
Yeah, he was still doing the money sign, And
those are good times.
Yeah, I was young enough where I was like, I was all for it. So there you go.
Do you remember the trophy, the barge?
I don't know. Help me out there.
Oh, wow. They don't even know about the barge in Detroit. Yeah. It was a sense of pride for us. You'll have to look it up after this, but there's an actual barge that they would give to the winner of that game, the Great Lakes Classic, which obviously didn't mean much to Detroit, didn't really mean much to us at all, but it's kind of fun in retrospect now to think about that. It was like 12 years that they played this every single preseason, and they give away this big old barge trophy, and I think they can't locate it now, which is so funny.
Oh, geez. Well, hey, I mean, there at that time in that era, there really wasn't much else to play for those.
That's right.
Jake Riepma, thanks a lot for joining us, host of Locked On Lions podcast and Detroit Tigers Radio. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, absolutely. Anytime. Happy to hop on and enjoyed it. And we've got a fun week ahead. So hopefully the guards take it easy on my struggling Tigers.
We will not. Okay, we got to get out of here. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Hey everybody, it's Nick Padone with my friends at Northeast Factory Direct. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, updating your furniture, freshening up that patio, or looking for a new mattress, Northeast Factory Direct is the place for you. There's no fancy showrooms, no high-pressure salespeople, just high-quality items at unbelievable prices. If you're looking ready to spruce up that inside of the house, fall is here, winter is going to be right around the corner. It gets even better for you. When you shop at Northeast Factory Direct, we got a hookup for you. Ask for that extra special Big Play discount, and they'll get you a deal on all their great priced furniture. So visit them today, Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, North Canton. Check them out online, northeastfactorydirect.com. Alrighty, it is Guardians all the time as we are bringing the heat with our guy, Jensen Lewis. Jensen, what a whirlwind this last week has been, these last couple of weeks. I want to start things here, though. Do you think right now the team has a better chance winning the division or making a wild card slot?
Yeah, it feels like the division, right? Just because you have everything in front of you, and one win in the next 3 days to get that tiebreaker, and what that would mean, putting all the pressure back on Detroit, not only in this upcoming series, but guys, it could be so much to play for as the Tigers will finish their regular season in Boston against the Red Sox. And who knows what the Red Sox may be playing for as they finish out the beginning part of this week. So that's the idea, right? Is you want to get that division title because it guarantees you at least hosting in that wild card series.
Jensen, break it down for us. What's going on with the Tigers right now?
Anything that can go wrong, Chris, is going wrong. And that will be music to Guardians ears, Guardians fans' ears, because this was a team that felt like they couldn't do anything wrong through the first month of the season. Remember, this was an offense last year, guys, when we saw them down the stretch and even into that division series matchup, there really wasn't a lot to write home about. Once you kind of got past the Kerry Carpenters, the Riley Greens, there wasn't a lot of resistance. And this year they became a bit more athletic. They had a couple of renaissance years from Spencer Torkelson, and Javi Baez kind of came out of nowhere. But now you're seeing a lot of regression to the mean, and the back end of that bullpen has had their struggles closing out some games. I'll tell you guys, I did not have it on my bingo card that the Tigers would get swept in their homestand of the Guardians and the Braves, just knowing that Atlanta has nothing to play for. They're just playing out the string. But hey, this is why you play through the finish line and why every single game matters.
Jensen, how about our pitching right now, too? Over the last 17 games, I'm looking up our starter ERA, like 1.3 probably after yesterday. The bullpen ERA, 1.6 maybe. I'm trying to even it out from yesterday. But how crazy? What do you think has gotten into them?
Well, that's the story, Gab. Last year, it was the utter historic dominance of the bullpen, and as big a reason why they were able to get into the postseason and go as far as they did. To know that you were going to have no Emmanuel Clase for the rest of the year, and it feels like they haven't skipped a beat with Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis, Eric Sabrowski, a host of guys that have really made their mark. It was time for the rotation to be able to rescue this group. Last year, the bullpen rescued the starters. This year, the cavalry has come home, and you can basically pick a name out of a hat right now with all 6 of the starters. You mentioned it. It's basically been the better part of the last 3 weeks. I don't know who's been the best. I guess statistically, Tanner Bybee's been the best, but Parker Messick's been the worst, and his ERA is sparkling right now. So it's a credit to the group. Carl Willis doesn't get enough credit for the job he does year in and year out. He is the pitching whisperer of our time, and he has this group ultra confident and ultra dominant right now.
Now, Jensen, you're a connected guy. What are people around baseball saying about the Cleveland Guardians right now?
The adjectives are surreal, unfathomable. How is this happening? The statistics are the hardest part, guys, to wrap your head around. You go back to the trade deadline, and it's the team with the 3rd worst batting average. That's the Guardians, but the best team ERA. And they've done it with limiting opposing offenses night in and night out, having some really clutch situational hitting. I mean, this is the greatest stretch that Bo Naylor has had in his career. He's been unbelievable. Jose Ho-Hum doing his MVP work. And then Stephen Kwan, I think, really rallying into form, especially the last week. When you get the igniter back going the way that he's been, that's kind of been the recipe for this group the last handful of years. So it begins and ends with the bedrock of this organization. The last decade, it's been pitching you for a reason. The starting rotation is why they have always been in contention. And this year, and especially these last 3 weeks, that is the biggest reason why they are where they are.
Okay, let's talk about Bo really quick, because that's also just a crazy turn of events here. In his last 10 games, batting .324 with 12 hits, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. Do you think that his change has been more mental, or did he mechanically change something that we haven't noticed?
Yeah, confidence is huge, and especially when you're doing it in a pennant race, it just augments not only your individual accomplishment, but it really rubs off on the guys around you too. So I definitely think it is really a parabolic effect here. So I would love to see him finish it out the way that we know he can. Guys, remember, he was the heir apparent. Everyone was clamoring what he did in AAA years ago to be like, we got to get this guy here. We hadn't had any offensive output from the catching spot basically since Victor Martinez. So it is great to see that his closing number, much in the same way, guys, remember Brian Rocchio, end of the lineup last year, was as big a reason why they got in and did the damage they did. Bo Naylor in the middle there with Manzo, with Jose Ramirez, he has really been equal to the task.
Jensen, in your mind, who has more pressure on them in this series, the Guardians or the Tigers?
It's definitely the Tigers, just because they're on the road, right? It's a hostile environment. I know the weather looks really bad for the week, or at least a little iffy. But if you were looking for the opportunity to go out and support a group that has earned every right to have every fan come out, brave the elements, and make this as hostile an environment for Detroit, no reason why this stadium at Progressive Field should not be sold out all 3 nights. Do what you have to do to give these guys every ounce of home field advantage. They've earned it. They have put themselves in a position that no one could have expected just a couple of months ago. And I would say that if you get an early lead, that house better be loud and proud, make it as tough a place for the Tigers to come up for air as anything.
Alrighty, it is time for the Northeast Factory direct question of the week. We're holding your feet to the fire on this one. We could go rapid fire on it. Which Ohio team has a better chance at making the playoffs? The Cleveland Guardians or the Cincinnati Reds? Both teams currently in due to tiebreakers.
Yeah, God, I'm going to lean the Reds only because they control their own destiny. And yes, do the Guardians to a certain extent they do. But the path forward might be a little bit more difficult from where Cleveland is. So I'll give the nod just by a hair to the Reds. But guys, the fact that we're talking a potential I-71 World Series even being remotely possible, you could have gotten odds on this upwards of 2,000 to 1 over the weekend. As we begin play tomorrow, it's down to 500 to 1. I'm not saying to put pizza money on it, but I'm just saying that's nice, easy travel for the Big Play crew.
He is Jensen Lewis. Wow. Make sure to go throw him some love on social media at JLew50. We'll be bringing the heat regardless of what happens this week for our Cleveland Guardians next week on the Big Play Cleveland Show. So stay tuned with us. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Pure AV, luxury home automation. Experience your dream smart home by visiting pureavcorp.com. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's time for our Fill in the Blank segment brought to you by Pure AV. Football is here, and Pure AV has everything you need to get your man or woman cave ready with their high-performance audio and video displays. And if you're worried about keeping a clean interior, they offer hidden audio and video options that allow you to keep that elegant look without sacrificing your favorite technology. Pure AV can set you up with invisible architectural speakers that are hidden in your walls or ceilings, as well as disappearing TVs that vanish behind art or mirrors. The guys over at Pure AV are constantly repairing or finishing other AV companies' botched jobs, so why not call them first? Eliminate all that hassle. Visit pureavcorp.com to see everything that they offer your home today. All right, gang, fill in the blank. The Guardians need to blank to come up big in this Tiger series.
Well, we talked about it with Jensen. It's been really the hallmark of this team through this cycle here, and that's our pitching. We got to have our pitching continue. Starting pitching's got to be dominant. The bullpen's got to do their part. I think that's going to be key for this Guardians team.
I'm going to say sweep. Put them out of their misery, man. Like, you control your own destiny. I know everybody's saying win 2 out of 3 or win the first one. Like, you control your fate right now for the division, not just for wild card, but to win this American League Central. You could snatch it right from them. Let's do that. Let's sweep Detroit and put them out of their misery.
Freaking do it. The Guardians are going to win, okay, blank of their final 6 games. We factor in the sweep, Nick.
I'll say 5 of 6.
Okay.
There you go. I'm not even going to put anything out into the universe on this one because I want the Guardians to really close the deal on this one. And so I'm not going to make a educated guess on this one, Nick, but I think they are going to make the playoffs. I really like this team. I like what they put together, and I think this Guardians team can get it done.
Let's go, Guards. All right, one change I'd like to see the Browns offense make this week is
more Quinshon Judkins. I talked about it earlier. I'd love to see him running the ball consistently and making the rest of that offense flow.
Less passes to the backup center. How about that? I really think that if you could simplify this offense a little bit, things will start to look better. Joe Flacco's a vet. He's been in the league for 18 years. There are times where he's correcting how Harold Fannin Jr. is lining up on the line of scrimmage. Yeah. That's still happening in week 4. Yeah. There's times where Cedric Tillman continues to run the wrong routes. Let's maybe simplify this a little bit. And then later in the season, maybe you could try some tricks. For now, I think let's stick to the bread and butter of Quinshon Judkins in that play-action passing game that worked so well for the Browns in 2023.
My confidence level in Andre Schmidt is at
100 out of 100 right now, Nick. I either go from 0 to 100. Last week it was 0. This week it's 100. I really love his story. I hope we found our kicker. Way to go, Andre.
I hope so, man. It would be pretty cool, especially like I'm more confident in him knowing that he was not 100% healthy in that game. Yeah. I was sure going into that game that he was going to miss a kick because that's like when you're not right as a kicker, your whole form is off. Everything's off. So my confidence in Andre Schmidt is growing. How about that?
Love it. All right, we didn't talk about how sweet the uniforms were. Now that we've seen them in action, the Alpha Dog uniforms are
absolutely beautiful because we won in them.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
I don't care. Whatever we wear, as long as we win in them, I'm going to love them. So beautiful. Love the Alpha Dog uniforms.
I actually thought they were cool. I mean,
I like the mat.
Yeah, like bright orange numbers with like the highlighter orange brown. I mean, They have found as much as you can do with brown and orange. They really have run the gauntlet.
All right, that's a wrap for our Fill in the Blank segment brought to you by our friends at Pure AV. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows, energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. This Smart Choice segment is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Right now at Smart Choice Windows, you can get 50% off all windows during our limited time promotion, plus take advantage of their special financing with no money down and no interest until 2027. Looking to upgrade your whole exterior? Smart Choice Windows is also offering $1,500 off siding for your entire home and $500 off entry door installation to boost your curb appeal. And remember that every project starts with a free no pressure estimate. So give them a call at 844-GET-SMART or visit smartchoicewindows.com and make sure to ask about that Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% off all promotions. Alrighty, so let's see, guys, what the Smart Choice is. If you could keep one of the current Cleveland sports team's coaches.
Only one.
Only
one, right? I'm going with Carl Willis. We talked about it. We talked about it, right, with Jensen. He is the secret to that sauce right now for the Guardians and has been for a long time. He doesn't get enough recognition. He gets those pitchers year in, year out. No matter what the resources are that he gets, he's always got them humming. Carl Willis is my pick.
I mean, that's the smart pick. I'm going to stay there with Cleveland baseball and stay Stephen Vogt because of these three, no coach, no manager, I would argue in all of professional sports, is doing more with less. I truly believe that this Guardians team, not that talented. These guys, not that great at baseball. During that 10-game losing streak, we were saying that these are minor league players.
Yeah.
For the most part, probably still true, but you know what? They're finding ways to complement each other. They're finding ways to get the job done when it matters most, to come up in big moments, to deliver big runs for the team. The starting lineup is incredibly talented, but the rest of the lineup, okay. So I'm going to give it to Stephen Vogt because I really think he has turned this dumpster fire of a season into what could be a miraculous season if the Guardians do what they're capable of.
Honorable mention goes to Jim Schwartz on this one, too, for the defense right now he's put together for the Browns.
It's hard to beat the argument doing more with less, but I will say Kenny Atkinson absolutely balled out in his first year in Cleveland and taking us, I know we didn't finish as far as we would have liked, but an amazing personality, coach, sports junkie. Like, he's so in it, lives and breathes it, and you can tell that it really resonates with the whole team, and I hope we've got big things this year.
Cavs season just around the corner. Got media days. Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully I'll be there. That's coming up 29th. So, already Cavs season. If you had to pick which team will be Ohio State's biggest competition for the conference title?
I'm going to say Penn State.
Yeah.
I think Penn State's going to be their toughest one. I don't have 100% faith in Penn State. I think Ohio State is primed, like we said before, for another natty. I really like what I've seen on the field, and I'm anxious for them to get out there on the field again this Saturday against Washington.
I've got a lot of agendas on the line. November 1st, that Penn State game, Drew Aller, and the Buckeyes. A lot of agendas going to be on the line for me. I'll throw Michigan into that conversation as well, just because Bryce Underwood has looked really good for them. I do think they've got training wheels on him right now. Once they unleash Bryce Underwood, I think he's really the real deal for the Wolverines. And we know that Ohio State's had some issues over the last couple of seasons being able to get past that team up north in the final game of the year. So I'm going to say that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to beat Michigan Thanksgiving weekend, just like you've been looking to do the last 4 years.
All right, the Ryder Cup is this weekend. If you had to predict who will be the MVP of Team USA, the smart choice is.
Just like any other tournament, I'm not betting against Scotty Scheffler, and I'm going to take that over to the Ryder Cup once again. I think Scotty Scheffler is playing, once again, fantastic golf. I expect that to continue. My dark horse, though, and maybe it's not that much of a dark horse with his personality, is Bryson DeChambeau. He loves these type of events. He loves playing for America, so he's going to be out there just trying to whoop it up.
Chris, real quick, what'd you make of Keegan Bradley leaving himself off this lineup?
Yeah, and I like that from the standpoint of you've got a leader, and he's got to put what he believes is the best lineup together. And if he thinks he can't be 100% when he's playing, then you don't put yourself in there. And that's basically what he did. And I think that's a smart play.
Let's go USA.
Hey, speaking of USA, before we end this segment, I do want to give a shout out to friend of show Katie Moon, who did achieve her third world title over the weekend. She's the first woman in history to win 3 world titles at the pole vault event. So we're really proud of her. Really good stuff, especially for being later in her career. She did say she's going to try to hang on for the LA 2028 Olympics. So go get them, Katie. This segment also brought to you by Smart Choice Baths. It's the perfect time to remodel your bathroom. Right now, Smart Choice Baths is giving you $1,250 off your bathroom projects, plus a free luxury upgrade to add comfort and style. And just for Big Play listeners, you'll save an additional 10% on your project. So don't wait. Visit them at smartchoicebaths.com or give them a call at 844-GET-SMART to schedule your free consultation today. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com today.
Big Play Bets brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel's got you ready for the NFL season with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, you bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You could build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season, it's here. The only question now is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/BigPlay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. You got to be 21 plus and present here in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Restrictions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, guys, is Vegas underestimating, or dare I say disrespecting, the Browns defense? The Browns opened as 8.5-point underdogs at Detroit this week. With that defense looking so good, is this spread too big?
It's more of a referendum, I think, on the offense than what it is the defense for the Cleveland Browns, and that's the way the street is thinking about it. No, I think 8.5 is about right. You're going on the road. You do have a Detroit team that's coming off of Monday night, so it's going to be a short week, so maybe there's a chance there for the Cleveland Browns.
And similarly to the spread for the Packers game, Detroit's a better team. You know, they should be 8.5-point favorites in this game. The Browns are going to have to go play spoiler again in this matchup. Obviously looking forward to it. I do think because the defense is so good, that's why this spread is not double digits. Like if the defense wasn't as dominant as they've been, you'd be looking at a potentially 2-touchdown spread. It'd be college football spread.
The over-under is set at 45.5 points. Are you taking the over or the under?
Under. I can't touch an over because I don't trust the offense. Until I see the offense be able to do anything, then I just can't trust it. Like, they've yet to score more than 17 points this year. They've yet to eclipse 20 points, dating all the way back to last year where Jerry Jeudy popped off against the Broncos when he had 235 receiving yards and a touchdown against his former team. So they got to prove that they could score some points, because for me right now, the total is just untouchable.
Now, on the other side of that, you've got the Lions. The Lions so far in 2 games against the Packers, they scored 13 points. Against the Bears, they scored 52. So kind of a mixed bag there for the Lions. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that end of the ledger. I'm still going under for the total.
I'm glad you brought that up, Nick. We definitely kept track last year about that 20 points and our inability to eclipse that. I think we're going to have a big play party when we finally get there. Let's pick an anytime touchdown scorer for the Browns this Sunday.
We're 0 for 3.
Yeah, we're cold on these.
Really bummed.
Very
I was
cold.
pretty psyched about Jerry Jeudy, and we didn't.
I know, we kind of modeled our backfield a smidge after the Sonic and Knuckles thing that worked really well in Detroit with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Could it be a Quinshon Judkins week again? Could he have 2 straight games with the touchdown?
We've been calling for it. We've been calling for more Quinshon, so let's continue that on. Let's see if he gets in the end zone. I'm going to go Quinshon.
All right.
All right, guys, you hear that? The top dog is barking again. Tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a full breakdown of everything Cleveland Browns with Hanford Dixon, Josh Cribbs, and Phil Taylor. You can catch it live on X, YouTube, or the Big Play app. And that's the Top Dog Show, only on the Big Play Sports Network. That'll do it, guys. We will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching Big Play Cleveland.